Good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. My name is ShockWavee, and today we're actually going to be diving into some more complex training drills for every weapon class in the game. So this one might be a little bit of a longer video. I've decided to kind of record myself as I'm talking over this. So this is me. I normally do like a voiceover over gameplay or whatever, and then do a bunch of edits. But I feel like this will be a better way to explain what I'm doing instead of watching it back over and talking. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all the rest of it. Go follow my Twitter, Twitch, Discord, all that. And yeah, we're just actually going to dive straight into it. Of course, I'll have timestamps in the description below. So for every weapon class, shooters, blasters, Brellas, Splatlings, Sloshes, Dualies, all that. So make sure to check that if you're looking for one specific one or if you're looking for all of them. But we're just going to get straight into it. So we're going to start off straight away. If you're using a short range shooter, definitely recommend using a Splash-O-Matic for this, since you have perfect RNG, gives you the most practice. Of course, you can just use your own whatever weapon you use, but I reckon using the Splash-O-Matic is probably the best one for shooters. So the first one I'm going to do is you stand on this line here, 2 away from the back one. And what you want to do is you want to jump and then flick to your target. Since when you're using most shooters, you're going to be using MPU. You're going to be jumping around a lot, like when you go to fight them like this. But stand on this line, jump, and then do like flicks. Flick behind you. I don't normally play a lot of shooters, so I haven't practiced this recently, so it's a little bit rusty. But this just gets your flicks up, so this is one example. Get some practice with that. It just helps with doing like 90-degree, kind of on a 45, however many, 120. Alright, so yeah, that's that. The next one we've got is you guys start on this ledge. You can go up here, you can just start on a little bit of a ramp first, and you can jump off and then kind of flick, and you want to be able to track that dummy. You can do it for the one in front of you, you can do it for the ones on the ground, just all that. Just mix it up. You know, try and get that tracking right now. Not the best tracking. You can come up to this one. You can just do a fall and then just like kind of track them on the way down. Kind of thing. You're all just trying to find like drills that are situational when you're in the game. Like that. And do some of these on the way out. Keep it tracking up. And then obviously for the moving dummies, you can do the same thing coming off this ledge. Make sure you're tracking, do your jumps, and then flick. You can start here and then kind of try and track them. Oh, all the way over there. Yep, just stuff like that. Yeah, so that's going to be shooters. Nice and done. Next one, we're going to have some blasters. So for blasters, you primarily want to be focusing on practice your sub-strafing, getting some movement, and then just flicking, doing either 90-degree or... And also practicing taking your shot and then jumping and then having another shot, because you reduce your RNG like here, and then reduce RNG rather than like jumping then shooting. So you want to practice that, jump, shoot. That. Like that. There you go, so you get better RNG. Shoot your first one, then jump, then shoot again. So here. Yep, just like that. And same thing again, you can do it while you're falling down. So make sure if you're coming off a ledge, try not to jump. See here, I'm just kind of swimming off the edge rather than jumping, because if you jump and swim off, you increase your RNG. I'll show you an example here. So if I'm aiming at this one, I'll miss. But if I just swim off normally, bang. Alright, so try and get in the habit of doing that with blasters. Just straight up swimming off the edge rather than jumping. Even though you still might hit them, it's better off if you just swim off the edge normally. Oops. And do that. As for moving targets, same thing. You want to go for your shoot, then jump. Not like that. I don't use blasters too often, so get into the habit of that. And then coming off the ledge again, There we go. Make sure you don't jump off the ledges. So that's actually going to be a nice quick one for that. I'm trying to move through these fast because there's a lot of weapon classes in this game. Ooh, L3. Okay, this for L3, of course, you want to focus on stabilizing your aim first and then firing. So you want to be able to start off just basic flicking and then shooting. With this one specifically, you can practice your burst bombs. And again, you have RNG, so when you're coming off ledges, make sure you kind of swim off. And try and restrict yourself to 2 fires minimum. Get your nice 180s going, 90-degree flicks. Make sure you try and flick on. This one's a bit similar to shooters, but you kind of need to flick onto your opponent first. I haven't played burst, whatever you call it, L3s, H3s in a while. Yep, that's that, and make sure you practice your tracking as well with these, running alongside of them. Just like so, practicing whatever sub you have with it, whether it's a burst bomb or another bomb. Coming up the ledges, making sure you don't jump. And while you're here, you might as well just practice your inkjet too. Yeah, so that's gonna be that. Next. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, rollers. This is gonna be a good one. Alright, so what we want to focus on here, I don't know if a good example, I'll do it so it's easier to see. It's for Dynamo to say, you want to like do your vertical flick, and at the last second you want to change. Like that. But again, if you're using carbon and stuff, a normal roller, you don't want to have to, you don't have all that wind up time. So you want to practice. Doesn't need to be as long. Practice getting the timing right if you're using a roller or a carbon or whatever. Because a lot of the time you're going to be doing a lot of flicking and above ledges too. You don't need to practice the horizontal one as much, but mainly just your vertical. So that's going to be much more valuable. So all of these practices are basically just practicing your 180s. So just getting your flicks, getting used to them. Alright, and same here. Just kind of flicking last second if you can. And so... Alright, next one. Brushes are kind of the same. Again, with ink brush, you kind of want to make sure you get your flicking speed down pat. Not much you can really do. You can only like kind of doing this. I don't know much about brushes. Yeah, just stuff like that, I guess. What do we got next? I feel like it's Brellas or Dualies next. Oh, charges. There's a lot of stuff you can do for charges. What I see a lot of people do... They kind of do like what you do with Squiffer. Just so you can kind of get the feel of how you want to flick. Doesn't matter if you're not hitting them, if you don't have enough charge to... Stuff like that. And if you have scopes, you can practice your right side peeking. And all that. Also people like to do is get used to, so just say you paint all this area here. Just say you're aiming for this dummy here. You want to try and predict where the maximum range would be. So it'd be somewhere like here, and then go back. Okay, I was way off with the ranges. So it's getting used to your range. So if you're using Charger or E-Liter, so like here you'd come up to here, your max range would be somewhere about here. Move back a little bit, there we go, pretty much on max range. This one would probably be about here, go back a little bit, there we go. So it's getting used to what your range is, back a little bit. Oh, I'm a little bit off on this one. So it's getting used to how far away you would have to be. This one will be back a bit further, probably about there. So it's trying to get the maximum distance, so you have to come a little bit closer. It's fine if you make mistakes, again, this is like all just training room stuff, so don't get stressed out about it. Back a little bit. Oh, I was a bit off on that one. And that, again, with charges, a lot of people think it's about getting like all cool flicks like that and all that, but like having steadier aim and making sure you hit your shots is always going to be much more valuable. Again, with your leading shots, you obviously have to aim a little bit ahead. So same out here, bang. You should aim a little bit ahead. So you're getting used to that when you're kind of following this guy and then shoot a little bit ahead. That's a bad example. That's also a very bad example. So if you're tracking, bang just a little bit ahead. Tracking again, a little bit ahead. Do it again, a little bit ahead, and that is going to be that. Don't always have to go for cool flicks. Again, you can kind of just line your shot up and all that. So that's going to be charges. I think we have Brellas next, maybe. Buckets next, okay. Now this is a little bit different with all three of them, so I'll make this really quick. With normal slosher, so slosher deco, slosher, soda slosher. If you're in close range, you want to practice like flicking, just like flicking in their general direction, because you can actually increase your hitbox. See that? You actually have a lot more chance to hit them. Again, if they're higher up, if they're on the same level as you, it's a bit harder. Like so. Ugh. Making sure you kind of keep it straight, so then you're still having your crosshair cross it, because if you go a bit above, it can be a bit harder to hit them, because it still has to land on them. And you get fall off, so I only got 50 on that one. So try and practice flicking, but in a straight line, horizontally, like that. And of course, just normal sloshing over, just pretend like there's an object here. Getting like over walls and stuff, getting nice flicks. You can combine that with one of those and then up the wall, or there and then across. Like that, and then across. Nope, that's another bad example. If I could get it right, there we go. So that's that one. Tries a little bit easier. Practice that. You don't really need much aim with this, so I think we can just move on. This one, I liked when I used to play this. I used to practice like trying to get the distance right for how much fall off I want to get a direct. Come on, there we go. Like that, just getting used to the arc, like how long the arc's gonna be. And try and always aim for a direct if you can. It's a little bit difficult depending on how high you go. There we go. Getting indirects is fine. Because when you're using machine, you obviously want to use walls and ramps to your advantage. Stay on high ground so it kind of loops down. Get more range. Etc, etc. And obviously same thing with all three of these when their pilots are moving. Aiming ahead. Pre-firing ahead. A little bit. There you go. Alright, next. Ooh, explos. I like doing explos. I like to also, it's kind of same with machine where I like to practice trying to get the direct like that in a big arc. So I can get used to, and also hitting these dummies on the grates as well is really good practice. Getting some nice flicks like that. Getting some good arcs on that. And this is really crucial for Explo, making sure you aim ahead. So you can at least get 30 damage. Getting the 90 is good. always try and aim for that direct, because you really have to aim in advance with an X-Way, because it's actually pretty slow. Alright, that's that. Next, I think it's a Brella or Dualies. I think those are the last two we have left. Come on. Splatlings. Now this is different. I'll go Nautilus first. I did this in my Nautilus guide. I'll leave a link to that in the top right corner. You would start here, you climb up the wall, and then you track as you're falling. Because a lot of the time you're going to be coming up ledges, and then you're going to be jumping down and trying to track. Whether they're on the floor, or they're where you were, like on the bridge or whatever, on a ledge. You want to track as you fall. Just like that. Easy stuff. Again, flicking from one to the other. For the other ones, you can kind of just pick a normal Splatling. What I like to do is try and kill all 5 dummies in one fire. It's a little bit harder than you think. Normally I just start like this. Kind of cheat my way through it. Like that. Getting used to how long you have your charge for. That was close. Yeah, just stuff like that. And you can practice your quick flicks, just like your half charges. Making sure you get enough shots off. Because this is what I like to do if I'm using Nautilus and I land from Inkjet, and then I have to get a couple shots off, like that. Making sure you keep your aim steady. Because of course, less RNG while you're standing still, sorry. Just like that. It's always good to practice these, because most of the time players will try and rush you once your shot ends, so 3, 2, 1 they'll start rushing you, and then if you have a little bit of ink left you can just quickly peek out again while they're swimming at you and then fire. I think the last one is Dualies and Brellas. Last two. If we can get to them, please. Thank you. Alright, Dualies. You can practice like the CDS tech, except it's a little bit harder with this. You don't want to overuse your drops. What do you call it? Your dodge rolls, sorry. Good way to practice is just coming off this ledge, dodge rolling, and then picking a random target. Whether that's up, above, or behind you, or in front of you. Getting used to how you have to adjust your aim, depending on, so if I jump off here then go backwards, whoops, that's my bad. I jump off here and then go backwards, I have to adjust my aim accordingly. If I go forwards and then flick behind me, etc. There we go. And then what I used to do practice is take one line, kill that one, next line, next line, next line. And what you want to try and do while you're flicking is stay in a straight line. Like just aiming towards that last dummy. Make sure your rolls going straight there, so there. And then keep it there and then aim your rolls so you keep going forward. And what you want to do is you want to keep pushing that stick in the forward. So here I'll dodge roll forward, then I'll flick. And I have to kind of flick to the top left to kind of stay on track. And then to the top right, and then again, and then the top left, and then so I'm staying in a straight line while I'm kind of looking this way. So if I dodge roll here, I kind of have to flick to the left to stay in this straight line. So then I keep moving. So if I'm here, got to do that, and then again, and I have to flick to my right now. So try and stay in a straight line while you're doing it. CDS is a separate one. You normally just want to focus on the jump roll tech. Getting that down pat. You just want to tap the B button really lightly. That's how you get the most. And of course practicing shooting and just jumping while not moving the stick. Like that. Getting used to that feeling of clicking B before you move the stick, otherwise of course you'll accidentally dodge roll like that. So just a bit of mix of both. practice the tech and all that. So last one should be the Brellas right at the end. Unless I forgot one. Sorry, this is a bit of a longer video, but it's just good to show everyone what they should be doing. Yep, Brellas. Now this is going to be a bit of a split one, because normal Brella versus tent Brella. So with this one, you kind of want to practice having your Brella only up for a split second. Like so. So getting used to that timing is the first thing. And then kind of just getting used to, once you get that timing down pat, just flicking whenever it's necessary, and then kind of, so take this dummy for example, he's your teammate, you want to try and shield him while you're killing this guy. Just practicing that. It's all about timing with Brella. And the aim will just come with it. Because when you're in the heat of the battle, as long as you have your timing right and you're not just shooting like this the whole time, except when you're painting obviously, because it'll paint better, but so you're able to protect yourself still. Just getting the right timing is key. There we go. Alright, so that's pretty much everything. Again, if you want something on a specific weapon, need any more techniques for training room, whatever, feel free to message me, leave it in the comments below or something like that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your morning, afternoon or evening. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, join my server, all that. So yeah, again, have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.